A tiger without claws, a bird without wings, and a human without a voice. They're all missing something essential. That's why I decided to find my voice and build my confidence. Don't worry, this will all make sense in a minute. Today, I'm sharing how I tackled my fears and built my confidence through consistent effort and dedication. These lessons are not just for me, but for anyone willing to put in the work. Hey there, and welcome to Shell Talks, the podcast where we dive into the world of self-improvement, confidence building, and all the ways we can become the best versions of ourselves. I'm your host, Emily, coming to you from the vibrant city of Austin, Texas. This show is all about real talk on public speaking, fitness, and personal growth, tailored for aspiring business people, fresh grads, career climbers, and anyone interested in sales or looking to improve their communication skills with family and friends. Just like a turtle stepping out of its shell, we're here to break free and grow together. Today, it's just you and me. I'm going to take you through my personal journey of conquering my fear of public speaking. From signing up for dance classes to tackling articulation courses, I've done it all to step out of my comfort zone. It wasn't a wild ride, but rather a testament to the effort and dedication needed to achieve any goal. If you are ready to hear about the highs, lows, and everything in between, stick around. This episode is all about pushing boundaries and finding that inner confidence, something that we can all benefit from in our careers and personal lives. All right, let's dive in. A tiger without claws, a bird without wings, and a human without a voice. They're all missing something essential. That's why I embarked on a journey to find my voice and build my confidence. This isn't just about me. These stories and lessons can be applied to any goal you're willing to work towards. Whether you're an aspiring business person, a fresh grad, someone interested in sales, or looking to level up in your career or personal life. So why did I start this journey? I want to leave a legacy behind for future generations and better the odds of opportunity for my family and others in my life. I believe that effective communication and speaking with clarity can lead to achieving greatness. In the past, my fears held me back, but now I'm determined to solve this problem and help others do the same. Let me take you back to where it all started. How did I recognize the need for change? I recognized the need for change when I wanted to do certain things or when I was in certain settings and I was afraid to do an activity that other people around me were able to do with ease. Recognizing the need to find my voice, I decided to immerse myself in various activities that would push me out of my comfort zone and help me build confidence. I took a dance class, purchased a course on articulation, and spent over 100 hours studying public speaking on YouTube, X, and Instagram. To further enhance my skills, I started taking bar and Pilates 6 months ago. I will explain more on that later on in this episode. Over the past year, I've read numerous books on communication by great speakers and recorded videos for social media as an additional challenge. I also joined local Toastmasters and other public speaking meetup groups in my city. Additionally, I began studying and practicing writing because it's crucial for gaining clarity of thought and effectively expressing those thoughts in words. This is how I was able to write the script out for this exact podcast. One thing that really helped me was a book by Carmine Gallo. So many great insights, and I would highly recommend reading Talk Like TED by Carmine Gallo. One of the lines that stood out to me in this book was, "Better than average communicators are generally more successful than other people, but great communicators start movements. They are remembered and revered by their last names alone. Jefferson, Lincoln, Churchill, Kennedy, King, Reagan. Failure to communicate effectively in business is a fast road to failure. It means startups won't get funded, products won't get sold, projects won't get backing, and careers won't soar. The ability to deliver a TED-worthy presentation could mean the difference between enjoying acclaim and toiling in hopeless obscurity. You're still alive. That means your life has purpose. You were meant for greatness. Don't sabotage your potential because you can't communicate your ideas. I really love that paragraph. It is powerful. What was the root cause? I realized that this was a much larger issue than just not being able to speak publicly. This issue is more about my confidence and how insecurities dictate my behaviors and my perception of people's judgment, whether there is any truth to it or not. I remember a specific meeting where I hesitated to share my ideas because I was afraid of judgment. I remember so many times growing up and being in class and being so scared of speaking up when I know that I knew the answer, but I just couldn't bring myself to say it. That was a turning point for me, remembering all of these times where I failed myself. All of the greatest athletes have coaches, and the most successful business people have had at least one mentor to look up to and gather knowledge and a more experienced perspective. Upon reflection, the idea that I would be good at dancing, operating a business, communicating effectively, lifting weights, cooking, or anything that was not under the realm of my natural given talents, hint, most things, without an immense amount of study and conscious effort, is whack. Of course, I would need some form of coaching if I truly want to be great, which is what is so wonderful about social media. There's YouTube University. You could watch Instagram videos. You can find things on Reddit and Twitter, aka X. Your local library. There's so many resources. Many of them are free and can propel you towards greatness. But it will require dedication, just like when you have studied for any class in school, or if you have had some type of fitness goal. You may have hired a coach or a tutor. You may have purchased a program or watched a bunch of videos on the topic, but you did not do it alone. Lean on these resources. Lean on your community, whether it is online or in person. To tackle these insecurities, I've been on a roll doing activities that I previously had little interest in or that scared me. I forced myself out of my comfort zone once I realized that my comfort zone would never help me become who I aimed to be. I determined that I needed to add some high-value activities to my life that also aligned with other goals I have, like getting in incredible shape. But that also complemented the goal of gaining confidence in a major way. A little bit on that I said that I was doing activities I had little interest in. I never thought that I would be doing a public speaking course in the city that I live in. I never thought that I'd be doing a dance class. But I realized the importance of being able to do these activities because it's all part of my goal. A couple of months ago, a rather psychedelic night brought me to the conclusion that I wanted to take dance classes. Where did this come from? The desire for this came long before, one particular evening in April when I was feeling abnormally creative. The desire for creativity and passion was one of the driving forces, but the main force that plagued me was my desire to feel confident and comfortable in settings where I historically had not felt that way. I remember watching a YouTube video where Lewis Howes mentioned that when he was younger, he went through a phase of facing things that terrified him. One of those things was dancing. He took a dance class because he was afraid of it. Lights went off in my brain, or rather on. Ding, ding, ding. I needed to take dance classes. But for years and years, I have been, quote unquote, bad at dancing or didn't like dancing. In reality, I do like dancing, mainly in private, mainly in my own home, and I think it's fun. But I was, and still am, it's a work in progress, lacking confidence in my ability. I am super uncomfortable at the thought of other people's eyes being on me as I dance. I was only able to dance after having a couple of drinks typically, And I want to get to a point where I can at least feel comfortable to do it without liquid encouragement. Bruh, the dance class that I found in my city was called Absolute Beginners Hip Hop Dancing. Absolute! After that class, you take beginner. So everyone in my class was in the right place because we were all actually absolute beginners, but that is just funny that they called it that. Why did I feel this way? Prior to this time period, I thought that everyone around me was naturally good at dancing, or at least naturally confident enough to fake being good. What causes this? What causes someone to be so uncomfortable and concerned about what others may think, so much so that it prevents them from taking action and living their life rationally? And when I put my thoughts into words and say it out loud, that sounds crazy. But in my mind and body, I feel this deep sense of shame and embarrassment when eyes are on me and I'm doing something new or answering a question that I don't feel confident in. This feeling exacerbates the discomfort, which is then portrayed outwardly via awkward movements and a bright red face, which I'm sure looks, and it sure does feel, super awkward. Looking back, I see where this all started. I don't want to be like this. I never wanted to be like this. I recall from an early age being horrified by being called on to answer a question in class. My face would turn red, panic would seep into my mind, and I would quietly provide the answer or say, I don't know, in hopes that it would make the experience end quicker. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. It truly depended on the teacher and how much they wanted to pry underneath my insecure, shy girl skin. As an adult, I know that most of these teachers' intentions were good and that they were challenging me in ways that I could not yet comprehend nor understand. Why is overcoming social ineptitude important? Being put on the spot is good, and I wish I would have put myself in positions to do that more often as a kid. I say this with the best intentions, but being socially inept is a flaw. Not being able to articulate your thoughts and feelings is a flaw. Not being able to have a grasp on your voice and speak up when needed is a flaw and could be a great danger to you, or at least could hold you back. It is the equivalent of being a dog that cannot bark, a tiger without claws or teeth, a bird without wings, or human without a voice is in danger. Another thing that goes hand in hand with these extracurricular activities was taking a course in articulation. One of the biggest seemingly minor things that I learned in the course was that our surface vernacular is just scraping the surface of the average person's potential. By practicing speaking, reading books both in your head and out loud, speaking up in meetings, volunteering for speaking engagements at work, listening to and studying people online who are amazing speakers and presenters, seeking out opportunities where you will be the center of attention, either in a dance class or for providing a speech or pitching a product, and sending friends and family voice notes rather than texting them. You can put in reps to introduce new vocabulary into your surface lexicon and improve your confidence and articulation. This is going to feel uncomfortable. Comfort will not provide growth. Let me say that again. Comfort will not provide growth. It will keep you being afraid and in danger for the rest of your life. You are choosing that path. I know more than anyone that has had this goal that it is scary to put yourself out there. It may feel like I have some things figured out because I listed all the ways that I showed up and tried many new activities, but I can assure you that this is going to be a long road ahead of me. I am still incredibly nervous in most of these settings, but I know that it is important for me to continue to show up and do these things until it does not feel as bad. I don't care if it takes me 3 more months or 3 more decades, but I know it will pay dividends for my long-term growth, both professionally and personally. Recently, I needed to be a moderator on a panel at a conference, and though I was nervous and fearful I would mess up big time in front of a big crowd, I did everything I could do to prepare and tried to go into it with a big smile and confidence. It went well, at least I think it did. Nobody left in tears or offended that I know of, and I still have my job. Another thing that is important to mention is that along with the activities, I have also been taking extra care in studying certain components of my physical state and how I am publicly showing up. I have learned what types of clothing best fit my body type. I have been consistently physically active and eating nutrient-dense foods, infrequently consuming alcohol, and being more selective with who, when, and where I spend my time. I adopted a fairly simple skincare routine with an emphasis on using sunscreen daily as I live in Austin, Texas, and Austin gets an absurd amount of sun. Doing this prevents wrinkles and protects my skin from getting more freckles, aka sun damage, and prevents skin cancer. Eating nutrient-dense foods helps your skin as well, and is the biggest contributor to me for being able to have the energy to do all of these activities. Despite my lack of structure when it comes to a sleep schedule or getting enough sleep on a regular basis, I do not struggle with energy and have always been kind of an energy bunny. So if you do not have this natural quality, I am sorry, but I am blessed with being a natural energizer bunny. For long-term effects, though, I would highly recommend getting the recommended amount of sleep, which I believe is at least 6 or 7 hours per night, but I'm not a doctor. For me, this is an area that I would like to continue to improve. Fashion became important to me early on, but I felt as though I got complacent and lazy with style and caring about what fit me best rather than what was in style for others. Wearing clothes that complement your body type brings out your best physical traits, allows for maximum comfort, and as a result, leads to you feeling more confident. There are plenty of subreddits for both men and women on fashion advice and skincare. And there's also plenty of YouTube videos out there that talks on this more. And the reason these things matter, more so than just trying to be more attractive as a person, but if you're going to be speaking publicly and you're going to be speaking well, people are going to start paying attention. People are going to be looking at you. And I think it is very impressive and goes a long way if you look the part in a way, and if you look good, you feel good. It's that confidence, that mantra of look good, feel good kind of thing. So that's why it's important to me for those things to be worked on as well. You might be wondering, how do bar and Pilates relate to this? How is this relevant? When I studied different sports and ways to improve posture, clumsiness, and the ability to walk with more grace and less awkwardness, it came up many times that things like bar, Pilates, and dance are all good for improving these qualities. Aside from the obvious physical benefits, these classes were great for meeting people in the community and learning from and with others on how to position my body in certain ways and how to have a more naturally graceful and feminine energy and presence. And it worked. I remember after a couple of months of doing bar, I carried myself with more confidence, and someone even commented on a difference in my energy and presence. I believe they used the words glowing and elegant, which I've never been called before. I have been on a roll doing activities that I previously had little interest in or that scared me. I forced myself out of my comfort zone once I realized that my comfort zone would never get me to becoming who I aimed to become. I determined that I needed to add some high value activities to my life, and that also aligned with other goals I have, like getting in incredible shape, but that complemented the goal of gaining confidence in a major way. What is the point of all this? My journey to improve my confidence and public speaking skills has been challenging but incredibly rewarding. By pushing myself out of my comfort zone and embracing activities that once scared me, I have grown in ways I never thought were possible. I hope that by sharing my story, others can find the courage to face their fears and take steps towards personal growth. The key is to keep showing up, improving, and remaining positive and resilient in spite of any challenges along the way. I believe that I could be one of the best speakers in the world if I remain consistent and resilient in these efforts. If I don't, then I might as well be a dog without a bark. I've spent so many years of my life minimizing the noise and otherwise physical presence of myself in an effort to not be seen and to be as small as possible. I'm not quite sure where this stems from, but the psychology behind it is probably a whole other discussion. What I do know, though, is that I do not want to hide anymore. I want to grow. I want to build. I want to share my experiences with a larger community. I want to continue to challenge myself indefinitely. A plant that is not cared for with water, sun, and nutrient-dense soil will die. If I don't do this for myself, I am going to wilt and be a sad example of the person that I could have been. I have some final thoughts to leave you with. I'm not suggesting that anyone needs to do all of these things, and definitely not suggesting that anyone needs to do them all at once. I have added on things as I have learned and layered them on top. One thing that is important, though, is that you need to keep doing these things without an end date. If you need to sign up for some sort of fitness challenge, set an arbitrary date in your mind to meet certain goals, and keep yourself accountable, that is completely normal and fine. But if you want to be great and continue improving, there will never be an end date. This is something you will need to do forever. Even doing some of these things for a short period of time will likely ignite the spark within you, and you will realize the benefits and the improved feelings and can determine what you would like to do and how you would like to proceed. I want you to keep in mind that I had my own reasons for trying to achieve the goal of improving my speaking and confidence. You will have your own goals that are personalized to your own life. Some may align with the concepts I discussed today, and others may not. I will dive deeper into the specifics of the methods I took in future episodes, but this was just a high-level overview of what it took for me to make some of these dramatic changes towards a specific goal. Thank you all for listening. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, and I will see you next time.